1. Hey, it's Money Mike on a Freaky Friday hanging out with Jammin Jay. Brother Jay. Me and Jay used to jam out back in the day, and we're going to do it live tonight with you. And we got the music going with you in the background. This is for JW. You wanted it, you got it, and we're doing it live and worldwide. Two shots right here, baby. Metal Edge and concert shots back from 1989. What more can you ask? In prime condition. It's Brother Jay in the background here, so what we're going to do is lower the music a little bit and get into the mags and then kind of go from there. We did this before, like a few different times, and Brother Jay, he checked it out. He liked it. He's going to fill in a little bit tonight and, go over what we're talking about in each magazine. So the first one we're going to start off with is concert shots. And on the cover page here, you can see, again, prime condition, life size, pull out, Bon Jovi, Nixie 6. And this is going back to 1989 in May of 1989. And right here it says Poison, the next crew. Jay, yo, what do you think about Poison being the next crew? Do you think they ever made it to being the next Motley Crue, or was that just kind of like they were hanging out on the side and Motley Crue was always like the big shots, right?
I wouldn't say they were the next. They tried to be the next Motley Crue. They were who they were. They had their own style.
Right. Right.
Crue was Motley Crue. Bon Jovi's Bon Jovi.
Right.
Hard to decipher those two.
So you're saying Poison's you're thinking in your mind Poison's definitely not the next Motley Crue. They were both different in their own way. They were both one band was a lot of fun, another band was a little bit darker, do you think? Or I mean, how do you think of it that way?
I would say that Motley Crue is a lot bit darker than
Poison.
Others.
Right.
Bon Jovi and
Poison and because that was right there on the front cover of that. It says Poison, the next Motley Crue with a cover shot.
Right.
So how would you take it? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, what would you think? I mean...
Well, whoever wrote that article was a jackass. It just doesn't make sense because...
Right, there were two different bands, right?
Back then,
right.
You didn't know if, who was going to be who, which way they were heading.
And actually, you didn't know how long they were going to last.
Well, Poison was going to go to the dark side, or...
Yeah, well, you didn't know how long these guys were going to last. So.
You never know, and Motley Crue was always on the dark side. They stayed that way.
Yeah, they didn't change their image, right? I mean, for the most part, they didn't. For the most part, they didn't change their image.
No, hell no.
No. All right. So.
I think they stayed the same.
All right. So there you go. You heard it from Brother Jay. That's what he says. That's his opinion. That's what he thinks. So we're gonna go on, and on the top here, we're gonna show the cover again here just a little bit, so actually everybody can see it and know where we're going with this. And it looks like a ticket from back then. It says your ticket to ZZ Top, Guns N' Roses, Triumph, Quiet Riot, The Fix, Rob Junkless, Gene Loves Jezebel, Rat, Van Halen, Hurricane, Jack E. Lee, Bruce Kulick, and King Cobra. Also with Queensryche. So Jay, we're going to start going through the pages here on the first one. And here it is, concert shots. So let's keep it rolling. So the first page here, and keep the music going in the background here.
Yeah.
All right. So Jay, we got Kevin DeBro and Quiet Riot from 1989. Now he was with Quiet Riot for quite a while. Quite a while, yeah. And then. Well, he passed on not too long ago, but long enough. But he was a man there for a while. They said he was a loud mouth, this and that. He caused a lot of trouble back in the day, and also that he disturbed the Sunset Strip with the bands that were there. They were the first band to actually get signed on the Sunset Strip as far as the hair bands were concerned. Everybody after them came after them, and they got signed because of them. But what do you think of Kevin DeBro? I mean, everybody says he was the loudmouth of that band. He caused the downfall of that band because he was so outspoken. I don't know. What do you think, Double? What do you think, Jay?
Well, I mean, there's always got to be a loud mouth in the band.
Yeah. Hey, we had one, right?
Guitar player.
Right.
Go overboard a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want to get paid, right? You want to get paid. You want to be out there. You want people.
You want to show them shit that's going on. You want to, pump up your band.
Right.
And that's going the wrong way.
Okay.
I guess, he overtook some of, his authority and.
Well, yeah, when you watch some of those documentaries and stuff, and they say that, well, Kevin DeBro, he was the one that took down Quiet Riot. He's the one that, started tearing down the Sunset Strip and those bands because of, his attitude like that. So he went overboard. That's what you're saying? You want to be on tour, you want to make money, right?
Well, that's, record companies and all that stuff has to do with it too. They don't need a lot of mouths. They don't need, all this other
And I believe
behind-the-scenes action going on when, you're making albums and shit like that. So.
Okay. Well, that's what I heard, and that's what they were saying. So, I mean, basically, the record company, just like you're saying, had a problem with him. It was legitly with him. Nobody wanted to lose him in the band because they grew up with him and so on and so forth. And you know how it goes with us growing.
Bands come and go, the band members come and go, and you can only wish for the best. But
right.
In that situation, you can get a little loud.
Well, there you go. So there you have it. Brother Jay spewed it out, and he said we had to say. So King Cobra, I'm going to bounce over this because we're going way behind here. We're only on the first very page, and we spent a lot of time on Quiet Riot. So King Cobra, there it is. I mean, you guys can take a quick look at that. I'm going to show you the pages as we go here like I promised. I think it's JW that I seen on here really quick. There's one subscriber that popped up. So I'm going to try to show you this as we go. And there's the Kevin DeBro one. All right, so let me just go through that. There's much going on with King Cobra. They were there, they were loud, they were proud back in the 80s, but they got lost in the mix. Jay, you got nothing to really say on King Cobra, right?
Nah, too many bands back then, they kind of fell off the wayside.
All right, I agree with that too. So, next shot is, here he is, the guitar legend from Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora. Had all the licks back in the day. And then another shot of Robin Crosby from Rat, guitar hero also. So, Jay, what do you think? Richie Sambora, Robin Crosby, one better than the other, both the same?
I think they're both pretty much
up right in the same era. They were both kind of right on, right?
right. Exactly.
All right.
What I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't think we got to go.
There's, kick-ass wicked players. So, I mean, you can't deny that.
Well,
one takes over the other, and the other, so it's, yeah.
Right. Well, exactly. That's it. I'm sure they were probably both on tour at some point, and and I'm sure there was no hassle between either one of them. So, it's just sad ending from Robin Crosby and Richie Sambora. He's still out there doing what he's got to do.
Absolutely.
Right. And next shot here is Stephen Pearcy of Rat, and he's doing his own version of Rat with Juan of Rat as far as the bass player. And so right now you got two versions of Rat.
So, back in the day, they were big stars by then.
Right.
It's one of those things,
So what do you think, Jay, about the two versions of Rat right now? Since we're on Rat, that's a big subject right now with all these different bands.
Personally, I think they're jackass rats. Stephen Pearcy caused all that trouble.
Well, he did. You're right. He did. We were talking about him and Bobby Blotzer, splitting up the two versions of Rat, right?
Right.
Okay, well,
You know,
I mean, you got two versions of Rat.
you know, all their bullshit that they had going on. And,
So right now, officially, you got four live members of Rat. One of them is not playing at all, which is Warren DiMartini, the main guitar player.
yeah.
You got Stephen Piercy singing,
Right.
and you got Juan Crozier playing bass with Stephen Piercy, and you got Bobby Blotzer playing drums in his own version.
Exactly.
So you got two versions of Rat, you got two versions of LA Guns. So bottom line, Jay, what do you think about all these two versions of bands these days? Still making money, still going on tour, making us all happy because we love to see them live.
Personally, I think it's gone too far. You know, I mean, yeah, they want to still rock and roll and do their own thing, but it's just, it comes to the point where enough's enough, Either do one or the other.
Do one or the other, or just kind of give it up?
Give it up.
So what do you think about all these farewell tours? You got Kiss, you got Leonard Skinner, and you got Peter Frampton. They're all saying farewell, this is it, goodbye, see ya.
All these bands say that. Look, they keep coming back. The only one that hasn't come back yet, as far as their farewell tours,
Right.
is Motley Crue. Well, that's yet to be seen.
All right, so do you give Motley Crue credit for not coming back, or what do you say towards that?
Oh, no, he had his own issues, with the whole thing, and I don't blame him for that at all.
So do you think it's like a Mick Mars thing where he was like too far gone to kind of keep the band going, or do you think it was just like
I think so, yeah, it was more or less that.
you don't think it had anything to do with the rest of the guys saying we're done, we want to go on a high note?
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
Okay, I'm kind of agreeing with you on that one because he was looking pretty frail. I mean, as good as they sounded, and they did sound good.
Well, yeah.
I think maybe he had a lot to play in that, right?
Well, yeah, I would say, of course. Yep.
Okay.
So what do you got? What do you got next?
Okay, so let's move on because we're far behind. We're 7 pages into the first magazine, and there's a lot to go. So let's start flashing some of these pictures here and updates. Jay, I'm going to start just going through some of these for the viewers so they can see it.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'll comment as we're going. Yeah, just to catch up here.
All right.
All right, so there we go. I'm pointing this down here a little bit. JW, looks like you're tuning in live because I can see you on there.
JW.
Yeah, Jay, why don't you say hi to JW?
Hey, JW.
JW, I know you're a big fan. This is my bro, Jay, and he was in the bands back in the day with me, and we hung out. We did all this kind of stuff. I know you appreciate it, and you're probably, a little younger and stuff like that, but, we're glad you're...
Yeah, well, that's how we started. We started,
Right?
Mike got a freaking guitar before I did.
Okay, tell him how it is.
I broke a few strings on him. Just that me, But that's how I got to pick up the guitar. It was through it. So, I got a lot of credit to give Brother Mike.
Okay.
Pretty much,
Right.
That's how I started playing guitar. I mean, a lot of magazines, a lot of,
Right.
wanting to play this, that. So it all worked out.
It all worked out. It was fun. We had a lot of good times. Went to a lot of functions together. We played in a couple different bands together, with a few different guys that we were mutual friends with.
Absolutely.
And still today, we talk every day, we got the same equipment. We talk about different gear, this and that. And, this is all part of it. So, JW, this one goes out to you, like I said. And we'll flip through some of these pages. So here you go. Rat doing Under the Cover Dance. I remember that album coming out, Under the Cover, back in '89. And, Robin Crosby. Here you go. There's another shot of that. I'm going to keep flipping through that. There's Juan Krause here. There's Warren DiMartini with his Charvel snakeskin guitar with the Floyd Rose. Jay, what'd you think about those Floyd Roses? I mean, you're playing one right now. You're playing the same guitar as I am.
Exactly.
So did you have a problem with that? Is that a big problem?
I had Jackson in that freaking Floyd Rose. I could rank on that thing and it would never break a string. It wouldn't even go out of tune. I mean, it was great guitar.
So you.
Floyd Rose is great.
All right, so you're saying that it doesn't matter. I mean, you're fine with a Floyd Rose. You don't have to tune it 10 different times during the week or anything like that.
No, I would never. No.
All right.
No, that shit stayed in tune. Beautiful sound. It was great.
I mean that's kind of myth. You know what I'm saying? It's here and there. Some people just don't like it. Some people love it. I mean, it all depends on the player, how much you rank on the bar, that sort of thing. And I mean, honestly, I never had a problem with it.
You know, it's all about comfort and you know what you think you can do with it. You know.
Okay.
That style for me was perfect.
Right. I always remember you always playing something like that.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to Queensryche here. Back in '89, they weren't as popular, correct?
I would say so.
Yeah, they weren't part of that whole scene back then.
Nobody had the money for that shit back then.
All right, there you go.
Rockstar.
Well, Queensryche, didn't you think like Queensryche back then? They were like,
That's what I'm saying.
they were kind of odd, right? Don't you think they were kind of odd?
Exactly. Well, I mean, you would have had, you know, if you were just a starting band and shit, I mean, nobody had money, you know, I mean.
Right.
Those things that came with it was like, gee, everything Floyd Rose, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
wanted that shit.
so when
I loved it.
So what do you think about Queensryche back then with Jeff Tate with his high voice and all that? Do you think that was kind of different from everything that was going on back then, like 1989?
To catch on to that, I really, it was more ballad shit and like.
Right.
You know, it took me a while to actually appreciate music, but.
Right.
There, you know, any genre of music or any, you know.
Okay.
Down for, so.
All right, so let's move on from that. We got a couple more pages there. Jay, I'm gonna flip through so you can actually see these nice and clear because I know you like this stuff. So there we go. There's a Marshall stack. There's his dude right next to it, like, clear as day. And there's Michael Wilton with his guitar.
Picking stacks were so prevalent that what was it? The
JCM, right? JCM something?
Yeah, those things were so prevalent back then.
Okay.
I mean, I think everybody had one. If they didn't, then.
Right.
I mean, you weren't in the crowd.
Right.
I mean, they sounded so good.
Well, that was the thing, right? It was either Marshall. What else was there back then? Peavy, right?
It was yeah, but everybody gravitated. And a lot of these bands still play with these stacks.
Okay.
So stacks of fucking pancakes.
So there you hear it, JW. Stacks of pancakes, Jay says.
They stack one on top of the other. Fucking set up 10 rows of them.
It's 10 rows, he says.
Yeah, it sounds like fucking madness.
And I'm just gonna go right by this because this had nothing to do with anything that we were listening to at the time or even played. Gene Loves Jezebel. Barely remember them on MTV. But they were on there. I'm just going to flip through their pages because it happens to be in the same magazine. I will show you the pictures because they're right there. But really, other than that, and we're going to go through the same thing here with the Fix. Not a very popular band at the time.
I didn't think so, no.
That was not something that was... Yeah, those guys weren't really reigning at the top. I mean, you're talking 1988, 89, 1990. That was the prime time. Right. I mean, you're talking about those 3 years were like the prime time of Guitar Hero everything.
Right.
And those bands just weren't it. So
no.
We're not going to...
It's a different story. I don't know.
Yeah, well...
They had some, some contemporary good songs, but...
Right. we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. And to move on, there it is, Jake E. Lee. And he played with a lot of different guys. And obviously, he played with Ozzy Osbourne on the Bark of the Moon album. Jake, what do you think of the Bark of the Moon album? Because that's the first real heavy metal album I ever heard, and with our buddy Chuck Brum.
No.
I don't want to say his last,
No, when that album came out, I mean, that was the freshest shit that could have come out at that time.
I mean,
especially with him on guitar, it was like a nightmare.
I couldn't believe this guy, Jake E. Lee, no whammy bar, no nothing, with everything coming out of that. He didn't need it, evidently.
No, I mean, just freaking these licks that he pulls out of his ass. I mean, fucking loved it.
Right. He was definitely wailing on those things. I mean, he played that. That's all he played is that Charvel there. There it is, right there. There's a picture of it.
That's fucking great shit.
So he was the man back in the day. We'll agree on that.
Right.
All right, and then you had Night Ranger, which we all know the main song back in the day from proms and all this kind of stuff with Sister Christian. I mean, what can you say about a Night Ranger, right? They were top of the charts back then, still kind of are in some ways, right?
Well, I'm sure they get a lot of hits still.
Yes, a lot of hits, a lot of airplay.
And you hear it all the time on,
right.
All these stations on the radio.
Exactly.
You can't get away from it.
You can't get away from it. So obviously they were doing something right.
Hell yeah.
Still prevalent today. I mean, you hear they're on tour all the time, and Sammy Hagar talks about them even on Access TV and stuff like that. So, I mean, these guys are still hanging out. There's a lot of those bands that are still hanging out, prevalent today, and don't worry, not everybody's retiring. A lot of these guys are still hanging out and still will be for a long time. So
Yeah,
they'll be there.
They're relatively young, 50s, I mean.
And look at Sammy Hagar. He's 70, still touring with his boys. So.
Isn't that fucked up, man?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these guys are saying
Drinking fucking Cabo Wabo.
Cabo Wabo. He drinks that tequila. He keeps him strong, keeps his heart healthy, and that
What are you doing, this guy?
it works for him.
He didn't implode like a lot of these fucking.
No, he did not. He did not.
A lot of these other fucking singers went off the fucking deep end, and
Right.
he was one that stuck to his fucking.
He sure did.
I guess fate. I don't know what the fuck he was into, man.
Right.
He's still doing it.
I gotta throw this out here, Jay. As I'm going through these pages,
Yeah.
I can't believe how they're like brand new.
Well, I was just gonna say that. How the fuck did you keep them that
I'm-
fucking condition?
I just ran my finger over over this page. I just ran my finger over this page right now.
It's like actually paper back then was even they were thicker. It seemed like.
Was it better then?
I have no idea, man. But
I'm literally for whoever's watching. I literally ran my finger over this page.
no shit, man.
I literally ran my finger over this page. Like if you were gonna smoke something, I would smoke it with this paper, because because this is insane. I ran my finger over this page and I could literally feel everything on it. Like this is what you want.
Fucking cut your finger off.
Yeah, if you wanted a rock magazine, this is what you would have bought.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit.
Fucking nuts.
All right, so let's give a shot of this. JW, there it is, Sammy Hagar, and there's the boys from Scorpions, right in the middle of the magazine there.
They had their time. They fucking ruled.
They ruled the world for the longest time.
They were Dream Theater's a modern day Scorpions, I think.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you with that. There you go. That's a good analogy.
I mean,
You can go with that. Go with it if you want.
man,
Yeah.
I think that. I always thought that was like,
Scorpions had some pretty deep songs, catchy songs, but so do Dream Theater. But on the other end, Dream Theater may be more technical, but
way more technical, but it was on the same fucking
Yeah, but
lines.
yeah, same lines. Look at Michael Schenker and everything he did.
Exactly. What a fucking nut.
So
Shit. Can't deny that guy.
you can't deny it. You can't deny it.
No way.
All right. So we're halfway through, more than halfway through the first.
You gotta show more of the picture there. Nobody can see it.
Can you see this song or?
But you gotta point. I don't know.
All right. Here we go. Oh, so I'm gonna show this one full view. All right. And there's Bruce Kulick, and that's the next guy here. So he's part of the the whole Kiss final tour, farewell tour, and that's.
I think kind of, after him, before him, you couldn't replace him.
Here's a
I mean, come on.
right. Well, you had Ace, you had you had a lot of the guys in Kiss. You had Ace, you had Vinnie Vincent, you had Bruce Kulick, Tommy,
Great songs.
and now Tommy Thayer.
Yeah, of course, but you just, I don't know. It took the wind out of them a little bit, but they still fucking made hits.
They still made hits no matter who's in the band. I think Kiss could still go on, and they could replace every single one of those guys with the same makeup, and they can make money off of it just by putting younger guys in their costumes. That's all they got to do.
Just have Gene Simmons come out in a wheelchair.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, why not? Well, here's a full shot anyways. We'll do a full shot of Jake E. Lee. He's actually the middle of the magazine. He's dead center in the middle of the magazine. And what do you think? Why do you think he's probably in the middle of the magazine, Jay?
Oh, I mean, at that time, he was fucking rock god.
There you go. Here it is. Full shot, middle of the magazine. He's playing
What year that would have been, I mean.
purple blue Charvel with the slanted pickups. He had them all slanted.
He didn't have that much, man. This guy just go out.
Dude, he had slanted pickups. He had no whammy bar, but he did have a humbucker and 2 slanted single coils.
Now, he didn't need much to play this guy.
So he didn't.
He would rock he could rock out.
Right. And we're going to skip a few of these pages here because, again, they were kind of kicking on to the weird scene that was coming up in the time. And they were showing some of those other bands, not saying that they were weird, it was just saying at the time with all the hair metal bands and heavy hard rock bands, you're seeing bands like Gene Loves Jezebel, The Fix. Somehow it got grouped into this magazine. And it kind of doesn't go with what we're talking about. So, and we already talked about Quiet Riot, but I'm going to show you some more of the pictures about that album because this was towards the end of their high life there. 1989, they were on the downfall with Kevin DeBro.
Right.
They weren't really doing too much. They were on their way out. They knew the writing was on the wall.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It wasn't working out. Just show a few more pictures for the guys that are watching here. All right, there's another one. There we go. And let me.
You gotta remember, you don't see any Aerosmith in these magazines, do you?
Not in this one, not in the next one. I've had other ones, but you know what? At that time and that age, they weren't as hot as all these guys were. This was it. You turn on MTV night and day. This is all you heard.
I think yeah.
You remember that? That's all you heard back.
They came back in the 90s.
You're right. They came back in the early 90s. They kind of popped back in. But right here's one of the subjects that he's talking about, and Kevin DeBro says right here in the magazine, he says, the feeling of playing live in front of an audience is the best feeling there is next to sex. So, I mean, if you have anybody in front of you, you're playing live, you don't want to make a mistake, you're running on adrenaline, and Brother Jay knows just as well as I do. You got people in front of you, you want to play the best you can. I mean, you don't want to look like an idiot, so...
Right. Well, see, that magazine especially, I think, was more... it wasn't more toward the metal, it was more toward the rock.
Right. I think this was just in general then.
Yeah, it was, because, you know, they didn't have...
I barely... Well, the one we're going over right now, that's this concert shots, I vaguely remember this being like a big magazine.
It had freaking glam metal, death metal...
Yeah, I don't remember
metal,
concert...
grindcore,
Yeah.
all this other shit that was... But it wasn't popular.
No,
So,
no.
was, you know, fucking rock. It was, you know...
Right, and I don't remember any of that being really, big at the time.
No.
But I think this magazine in particular, which did come out then in 1989, they kind of grouped everything in together only because of what was kind of going on. So there's Triumph. We're not going to talk much about them because that doesn't really relate to what we're... You're talking about a band that was popular in the 70s. Great band,
Yeah, I know.
So...
Their share of limelight or whatever you want.
Right. So I'm gonna show some pictures only because, it's in there, and we got only so many mags to go through, and I do want to show some of this stuff. So.
See, people don't remember bands back in the 80s like Social Distortion
And they were popular too.
I mean, they were a little bit underground.
Yeah, but.
That was the 80s. I mean, it was a band, but.
Right.
But, the Clash.
Right.
But they didn't get their
Okay.
recognition, these guys. Because that's all it was pop rock type shit.
Right. Well, here we go. I mean, what else could we say about these guys? I'm going to show the picture first, and we'll kind of just go from there. And it's Guns N' Roses. They kind of made their debut back then. It was 1989. It was at the height of the hair metal hard rock scene. They put a torch under the hair metal scene and kind of lighted everybody's ass up and said, we're going hardcore. We're going to do like a Rolling Stones version of hard rock heavy metal.
Right.
And then that was it. That was the starting point, don't you think, before Nirvana came in and kind of killed everything?
Well, Red Hot Chili Peppers had Mother's Milk in 89 too.
Well, and there you go. People forget about that, and that caught on. That's kind of started. That was a sleeper. That was a sleeper that started putting it in people's brains back then. That okay, it's not just hair metal anymore. Here it is.
It's not just ballads.
It's not ballads. It's not hard rock.
It started actually going away from that.
All right.
Even Ministry, like Ministry was out in '88, so it's.
Well, see, there you go.
It's crazy, but you got to think they were focused on hair metal bands.
Right.
Back in the '80s, you would figure unless you knew somebody that had this type of music or played it for you.
Right.
It was all over fucking MTV and all that shit.
So, I mean, basically, Guns N' Roses came on in 1989, kicked everybody's ass.
They just destroyed everybody.
So they destroyed everything, started a whole new hard rock, more or less, scene,
Yeah.
and then kind of left. So do you think they kind of left the whole hair metal thing in the past when that happened? Or
Hell no. If you look at fucking Axl Rose's first video.
right?
Look at his fucking hair.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
They leave it behind, but they weren't ready to give it up either.
All right. All right.
Saying they were still holding on to that fact.
Right.
Hair metal, fucking all that shit, and
Right.
which, I mean, that's what was popular at the time. So what do you do? I mean, you gotta fit in.
You got to fit in.
So what the fuck?
All right, so we're just going to go over a few of these pages here. Right at the top here, it says, Axl was quoted, it says, the last time we played the Troubadour in Hollywood,
Right.
we were at 130 decibels. That's like a 747 on the runway.
That's craziness.
So they're in a club that I've been in, a club that I've seen.
If you look back, they always had loud. They always played loud.
I mean,
Anyone
He's talking 130 decibels. He's talking 130 decibels.
Ears over the brink. And there was no freaking earplugs that were going to save you.
So, I mean, so do you think that was wise to do for them or for the audience, or what do you think?
That kind of music at that time.
Just let it go, let it rip, and that's it.
That's it. I would say, fuck yeah.
I mean, because they had a sound, man, just like every other band did, whether they're on the East Coast, West Coast, or whatever. So obviously they said, okay, let it go.
Right.
And you're saying 130 decibels is okay to let it rip?
Well, in a small place like that, they wanted to show that,
They were the biggest ones on the block.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the way I would see it. Fuck yeah.
I mean, because they were competing with other bands that were out there with them on every weekend, right?
Well, they had to play louder, bigger, better.
Okay.
You got a guy like Slash playing guitar and fucking, it's just like, who doesn't want to hear that shit loud?
Right.
I think they did it for purpose.
Well,
to actually accentuate their music.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I think you're right. That makes sense.
If you want to be the biggest band in the world, you got to pull all the fucking stuff.
And they did. And they did.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, the next page is Motley Crue. And what can we say about Motley Crue? Everybody knows about Motley Crue from then till now. Right here it says, while waiting for Motley Crue, and then the next segment goes, by the time this reaches your hot little hands, there will most likely be a new Motley Epley. But while we here are waiting anxious in anticipation, let's look back on those LA metalheads who single-handedly gave metal a whole new name. Hey, we didn't say it was a good name. So basically, the magazine saying, oh, Motley Crue bad boys, blah, blah, blah. If you've seen the documentary on Netflix, I mean, that kind of says it all, right?
I would. Holy shit.
And all I gotta say is, if you haven't seen the.
What a bunch of mental cases.
Well, you heard it from Brother Jay. I mean, he tells us right.
They're fucking mental cases.
They're mental cases. I mean, each one of them had. And you gotta be honest about that. I mean, seriously, look at Nikki Sixx. He came back from the dead, hit up with the fucking.
Same thing with Vince. He had his issues with killing people.
Right, he had to live with that, and.
What?
He had to live with that,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying he did it purposely and stuff.
And it wasn't done purposely. It wasn't. It's just, these are all things they had to live with to get through and still survive as a band, and they did. And
which you should bring up that band, too.
What's that?
It was in the car.
Well, yeah, and actually, you got to think about that, too.
They lost,
Right.
They lost, too. But you can't die about Motley Crue for, all the music they did through.
Yeah, you can't dive on them because of what happened. It was a sign of the times. It's sad that it did happen.
Right.
And, Hanoi Rocks lost their drummer, and
right.
it was sad, and, they were buddies at the time, and but
shit fucking happens in those fucking kind of situations.
Right.
You rule the world and boom.
And all of a sudden, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We're almost towards the end of the first magazine. It's Poison Likes the Pictures. And I'm just going to show, all I got to do is show you this, and you can kind of get a gist of what we're talking about here. These guys were made for the magazines. They were glitz, glam to the max.
Come on, look at his lips. He's ready to suck some. I swear to God.
All right, gee, hold on. Let me look at this again.
What did he thinking that picture like that?
Who knows, dude?
Oh my God.
Right. And then look at here they are jamming. You know, him and Bobby Dahl and
Right, they grabbed by the pussy.
holy shit. So what do you think? I mean, Poison. Oh, here we go. Let's take some more pictures first before we say anymore. Look at CC. Jackson Guitars at the time. He's wearing Jackson Guitars t-shirt. Blah blah blah. There's your Floyd Rose because you love it.
Yeah.
All right, so
There he is. He's got one.
there's Ricky Rock. It plays in zillion cymbals, as he always says.
He's another cocksucker. I mean, he came up with.
All right, Jay. Did you not like Poison, or did you like Poison?
You know what? I didn't, but then I don't know. It kind of
Here's some more
I don't know,
pictures.
'cause it was all over the place.
All right, I gotta show some more
I
pictures
couldn't hear it.
for the video. I gotta show some more pictures, so I can't not show the pictures.
You know, they're singing, you gotta stay tough and look at them.
Hey, you know what? This is why I have to have feedback. It can't just be one person. This is why I have Brother Jay on. Because if I said, hey, they got this video, this, that, it made me want to start playing guitar or this, that. And you got Brother Jay saying something like this, and he's right too, though. You know what I'm saying? So he's got his point.
Back then, all that fucking hairspray and that
Right.
service.
Right. I mean,
Who knows what they did.
who knows? Here's some more pictures. Let's get through this, though. I gotta show it. Only because we want to. I promised it, and there we go. I'm gonna show it.
Yeah, look at those pages. Are so damn crisp.
Right. I'm telling you, these pages are like.
And I don't see any yellowish. So
There's nothing. Jay, Jay, look at this.
You vacuum seal these?
No, I didn't. They're hanging. Guess where they were?
Oh my
They were in a gym bag.
You're kidding.
No, look at the glossiness on this.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my god.
ZZ Top.
I wouldn't even have a picture left and it'd be all torn and let alone a whole fucking magazine.
All right, JW, we're almost finishing up this last one. We're not going to talk much about ZZ Top. They're who they are. You got the must. Right.
That's who they are.
And then kind of an obscure band, and we're going to kind of end on this really quick. I don't want to talk much about them because, they had like 3 hits that were on MTV. And here it is, Hurricane. You can kind of see it. If you watched MTV back then, you've probably seen it on Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, you had to have a pink guitar too. It wasn't in if you didn't have a
Yeah,
guitar.
well, that kind of says it all. Jay kind of summed it up on that. And I'm going to look at that. If you want to know about Hurricane, I'm sure you can look it up. But here it is, though. Check this out on the on the back cover, Jay. Rock video, Quiet Riot, bang thy head. Bang thy head. Here it is, up close.
Closer. Oh yeah.
It's
What do you want for that?
in yellow. It says "Bang Thy Head." They're asking 1995 back in 1989.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Holy shit, that's like $100.
It says right here. It says "Quiet Riot, Bang Thy Head," available in digital audio on VHS Hi-Fi.
Hi-fi. Isn't that special?
Yeah. So there it is. I do want to show you guys that because that's kind of a gem from back then. And here's the front cover with the Poison on the front cover because obviously 1989. That's what you're going to be looking at.
You're right.
All right, there's one down. All right, hold on here.
Well, what do you think?
I think this. All right, I'm not promoting it, and they don't pay me for doing it, but I do like a biz ear every now and this ear.
Oh, hell yeah.
and I won't say who it is, but I do enjoy every now and then.
I know what's in there.
Okay, I think Jay knows too, but yeah, exactly. So right now we're going on to 1989 Metal Edge calendar. Metal Edge was huge back then. This is one of the magazines you always got to see what was hot and what was not, and as far as gear was that sort of thing.
See, Metal Edge, you would get more Metallica, you would get...
Yeah, right. You get everything that was really hot back then.
Metallica in the same magazine with Poison and...
Right. Well, here you go. Let's take a look at the front cover and kind of just give it a whip. Take a look and see. Tell me what you think.
That shit. There's the guy in the front right there in the circle.
All right. So in the middle, it's Duff from Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got Lars right next to Ozzy Osbourne.
Right, he's going for it.
And then you got Rat in the lower left-hand corner. You got You got Brittany Fox at the bottom. Remember Brittany Fox at all?
Come on, shit, yeah.
And there's Poison again, because at that time that was all you seen was Poison.
Oh, of course.
Poison and Bon Jovi. Poison and Bon Jovi.
It says down in the corner, Striper. Oh.
Whereabouts you seeing that?
That bottom right-hand corner there.
Let me hold on.
Jeez,
Partying with White Line. Hey, look at this. Hot contest. Win Kiss LP's autographed photos from Def Leppard, Cinderella, Striper.
I cannot believe you still have this.
Look at this. Look at that.
That is nutty. What the fuck? Partying with White Lion. Get the fuck out of here. Holy shit. Motley Crue, I'll look back. What? It was only a couple of years since they were...
Yeah, so what year is it now?
Jesus Christ.
What year is it now? Why are we doing this?
Right.
All right, well,
You gotta bring that shit back, man.
we're trying to bring it back. We're trying to bring it back one page at a time.
Well, we gotta know this shit.
Well, look at this freak on the front page, and we got to go from there. Oh. I don't know. What do you think?
What the hell?
Fucking White Lion.
Oh, there you go.
Well, not too much to say about that, so we'll skip that.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pin-up page. We're not going to talk about that, so.
Nah, he looks like he should be on a beach.
Right, come on. So, yeah. Let's skip that. So, let's go right into the... Here it is, right here, February 1989. So obviously, when I picked up this magazine, I picked this magazine up in February 1989 because it says it right there.
You bastard. Oh, you fuck, man. What's mine?
You got probably tons.
Probably mine.
You got probably tons of them at home.
You asshole. No, I think that one's mine.
Maybe this one was yours.
There should be a little crease on the edge.
Let me see if there's any if there's any stained creases. This is probably yours.
It could be.
This one could be yours.
Oh, what the fuck, man.
I know. Here it is. It says right here, TV Picture Life Metal Edge, Volume 33, Number 8, February 1989.
Number 8?
Number 8.
Oh, shit.
JW, you're probably loving this because you're all about all this. I'm just going to go through the front page really quick for you because I know you're into all this kind of stuff. So, well, there's your dude, Mike Tramp from White Lion.
Wow.
Woo!
JW.
JW. He's still hanging out. I see his picture up there.
Yeah.
All right, so you got... All right, so really quick...
Bring back. Holy
Okay, so here we go. We'll go through the front thing and we'll go through them all really quick. All right, so Guns N' Roses, Mike Tramp, Lita Ford, Bret Michaels, Rudy Sarzo, Ozzy Osbourne, Zakk Wylde, Striper, Duff McKagan, Ozzy Osbourne, Warrant, Anthrax, Rat.
Damn fucking people, yeah.
Right, Quiet Riot. Yeah, say what you got to say. Quiet Riot, Kicks, George Lynch, Hurricane. There's Hurricane again. Jay.
I see that band is
So,
lost from my mind.
So how are they showing up in two magazines that we didn't think they were that great then?
I have no idea.
That's two mag.
Well, that was their time now. So
Somehow they hung on a little bit.
well, I can't remember. Did they have a hit song or some shit?
It was Hurricane. That was the only one.
That was it, right?
That was it.
So I mean, I don't remember any other hit songs from them.
I just can't remember them being that popular. They were.
That was a while ago. I have to do my research on that shit.
Ah, well, me too. But that's the only one I remember. I mean, if that's the only one we remember, I mean, I can't.
Right.
My problem is how did they make it to both magazines on one song? All right. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we got L.A. Guns. You got Britney Fox, of course, Metallica. Winger was huge back then. Tom Kiefer. You got him from Cinderella. Joey Tempest, Joey Elliott, Rick Savage, both from Def Leppard. Obviously, we know that. Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, and then they go on about that. The rest of the guys we talked about. All right, so let's turn this and move on.
Well, I got photo features and all that other shit.
Yeah, here we go. What do you think? Ozzy and Zakk Wylde. Look at Zakk Wylde.
That is wild.
Look at him. Look how young he looks.
Man, it's not that. Yeah, it is. Holy shit. That is crazy.
Shave with a fucking
Monster now.
shave. He's a fucking huge monster.
You know, and he had anybody else that he couldn't go on. After Randy Rhoads and all these other guitar players.
Some reason it helped him move on.
In that day and age,
Right.
he had to have Zakk Wylde.
And it helped him move on, I think.
So underrated
Right.
player, which really boggles my fucking mind. Because he is good. He is good.
So you're saying that well, were Randy Rhoads compared to Zakk Wylde or?
No, I'm just saying, I don't think they would have went through the 80s without somebody like Zakk Wylde.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, how can you top Randy Rhoads?
You can't. So you get the best you can,
That's it.
and that's what they probably did.
And he was good at that, Ozzy, picking these guys.
He had Jakey Lee.
Even though he's a fucked up individual.
He was, and he was, but it's like you said, he picked these guys. He picked Jakey Lee. He got Zakk Wylde, right?
Of course.
Right. So hey,
And
they
come out with that. It's just like right timing.
right. All right. So there, we're gonna do some quick pictures here. Here we go with Duff McKagan questions and answers. Guns N' Roses bass ace speaks out. Right here it says. In Guitar Magazine, it says, "You've been on the road for a year and you're in the home stretch now. How does this tour with Aerosmith compare with your previous tour?" Now, they played at SPAC down our way
Right.
back in '89.
Yeah.
And it says right here, Duff says, "This is the fucking best so far. Motley Crue was a great tour, too. But these guys, you can learn so much from them. This is a great tour to be on, but it's gonna be nice to take a break." So here it is. Their first two tours, they toured with the most notorious bands you probably could have ever toured with. Aerosmith and Motley Crue.
Yeah, like I said, my homework on this shit.
So-
they did play with.
So they learned the hard way from both of these bands that,
Yep. Can you imagine?
imagine going out on your first tour, your second tour, and you're out with Motley Crue and Aerosmith.
That's gotta be fucking balls to the wall, right?
That's gonna be balls to the wall. You're drinking every night. You're doing whatever you're doing. Who knows?
Back then, still. Even
Yeah.
with Ozzy was,
Come on. I mean, let's be real.
you know.
If they're gonna be real about it, they're doing a lot more than that and everything else. So that's what kind of put a damper on things towards the end for those guys because they had problems in the end with Steven Adler.
So you know what? hell yeah. But even with Ozzy's band, I mean, that Sharon with them, they had Bubbles at one of their concerts.
Right.
Bubbles.
Well, there you go.
What the fuck is that all about?
Well, yeah.
Instead of confetti or some shit, it's fucking bubbles. Craziness. Those were weird times.
Weird times for sure. All right, let's get through some of these. A lot of this stuff I will show you because it came up in all these magazines. Here's the LP contest. Kiss LP contest, the Motley Crue official magazine. A lot of contests they had back then that you could fill your. Yeah, you could fill your name out, fill out a postcard, and
Right.
you might win.
They do a contest where you could win free subscriptions and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think all these magazines had something like that.
Right. It's been fucking forever, but it seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it truly does. That's
on the radio, you think back to the fucking time.
you picture where you were, what you were doing, who you were hanging out with, everything that was going on.
Oh, yeah. How many times you've seen these bands?
Absolutely.
Where you were when you've seen them,
Absolutely.
Like that.
Well, here we go. We're in the middle stretch of this magazine, and it says Poison Mailbag. So, I mean, again, it goes to prove how big they were at the time. And let's go through some of the pictures here.
Right.
I'm not going to go through a lot of these questions and answers because a lot of the stuff you can...
Longer than long.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, a lot of this stuff you can pull up. I just want to show the people that are watching for these magazines that, these are still out there and stuff. And
Well, I can imagine how much they were worth.
Right.
I mean, it's how many years old,
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 1989 till now, and,
So, I mean, and having the condition you bought them in is pretty fucking awesome.
Right. It really depends on the condition. So if you got them in good condition, fairly well like these,
They don't make these kind of magazines. When's the last time you read a magazine?
Yeah, you don't. That's the thing. You really don't.
When's the last time you read a fucking paper?
Well, the thing is, too, the only thing you're going to pick up for a magazine these days, in the rock world is the guitar magazines, like, Guitar World. So if you're not picking up Guitar World...
They still make that temperature magazine.
Yeah, right.
Like Guitar World, or... I think they do. I'm not even sure anymore.
Well, here we go. We're on to Rat again.
Where'd you buy 'em?
Well, yeah, you got to hit up Barnes and Nobles and those types of places.
Like that. Where would you buy a guitar magazine?
I think that's where you got to go, is like a Barnes and Noble. They still have all those. Really, other than that, that's all you're gonna get.
You got the fucking internet, so why buy?
Well, that's the thing. Everything's on the internet.
You got it in your hand. It's fucking.
It's just like a cassette. It's like a CD. It's like you said. It's history. To have it in your hands.
Shit that you got a cassette, dude. I'm still freaking amazed that you got all that shit.
You know what? And here it is. JW and the other viewers, Brother Jay just said the same thing. This is what we're going to go over next time. When we do the next video, because we just did this little mini-series here on this, we'll pull up a stack of those cassettes.
You gotta go through it. People would be stunned to see some of the shit that you got.
And we're talking about cassettes that we listened to back in the day that you guys are all interested in. So we'll go over those. We'll pull out the cassette. We'll actually show you that the tape is still in good condition. We'll bring it down here. We'll play it through the tape deck. So I mean, I'll show you exactly that they all still work fine. They work perfectly. They look good. They work perfectly, and I'll show you the inserts. Because that was a huge thing back then. You bought a new tape, you opened it up, and it had that certain smell to it. It was like, there's something about that smell with a new cassette.
Like that nostalgia,
Oh, totally.
It just came out and I got it.
And I got it. Right. You're playing it.
With fucking CDs and shit like like, it wasn't like it was back then.
Right.
Fuck no.
And
Close at all.
so here we go. We're gonna finish this up here. We're in the middle of the magazine with Rat. And again, what more can you say? There was Reach for the Sky album. They said that was more or less the downfall for them too. Ooh, you're talking about 1989. That was probably a downfall for a lot of bands, right?
Yes, it was actually.
Because what'd you have, 1990 or was it 91 when Nirvana?
1991, you know, we started coming out with Chili Peppers, and even Nirvana was out in 89. They came out with Bleach. And actually had an album before that.
And
So, I mean, it was still underground.
it was still underground. It just didn't come up to the point where it destroyed everything else. That's what you're saying, right?
As soon as Teen Spirit got popularized, and, you know, that was it.
Okay.
So then you got bands like fucking Soundgarden and all these other fuckers.
Right.
So it came so quick. The 80s got over within, what, I'd say, not even 10 years.
Yeah.
I'd say about freaking 5.
I think the rise of it was what, 83 to probably 90 at the most.
Right. Well, you had heavy metal bands like
Right.
Slayer and
Well, here you go, right here. This proves it. Look at this. This is Motley Crue. I'll show you this right here. This is a live picture, live shot from the U.S. Festival in May of 1983. So basically, that was the rise of it, and the fall of it was probably in 1990.
oh, as far as their, yeah, really.
Because right here it says Motley Crue, a look back.
Right.
They're already saying a look back.
I'll look back, and it wasn't even 10 years.
You're talking about 1989.
I know. Now it's 2019. I mean, that's a look back.
That's a look back.
Oh, what the fuck?
Well, I just want somebody to get a.
6 years.
Yeah, I want to get a shot of this.
Came out, I think, 81.
Yeah, I want to get a shot of this in here. It says in concert at the Whiskey in L.A. 1982. And you know, I was there. I walked in there. It's smaller than you might think, and
They're always smaller than.
yeah. I mean, if you've been to any of your local rock bands at your local bars, I mean these.
And here's their bars.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at I mean, just because it's L.A. doesn't mean it's that much bigger, or that much glitzier.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they are a bigger stage. The stage itself is bigger, but
Right.
it ain't that much bigger.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, because I'm talking to my bro here.
Feel when you're at a smaller club than you are at a venue.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
But, you know, you feel more, you know, in
I-
tune with the band or whoever's playing.
right.
But, you know, now it's so commercialized that, you know, it kind of takes away from all that.
Right.
You don't see fucking Metallica playing any clubs. You don't see, you know, any of these bands. I mean, I'm sure there's some that do, because they're not on the biggest screen right now.
Right.
But I'm sure they still do. But it's not the connection they used to get back then when you went to see them.
It's just not, and I don't think we'll ever see that again.
No, it's not.
Because now that all these guys are retiring, there's really nobody left.
No, they're just pretty much dead.
I mean, unless some.
Unless they pull a surprise little fucking show up at a bar or some shit. You know, I mean, that's all you're gonna get.
So I mean,
$150 for a ticket, and you know how bad you want to see him for $150. You know, that's the question.
all right. So do you think like There's George Lynch though. That's a good picture of George Lynch, and he's playing that.
Fucking bread and butter.
Yeah, he's playing that
Really great
ES.
one. He probably could have joined Ozzy band.
Oh yeah, easily. That's a good idea. That's a good point right there. That's a good
I
point.
thought about that. I was like, shit.
Wow, never thought of that. Wow, what a good fit.
Kind of similar to Wylde.
Totally with the way. Here we go. I gotta show you this. Because here they are again. Hurricane.
They're still shoving them in that magazine.
So yeah, dude, full page. Oh
my God.
So they had Over the Edge and they had Hurricane. I mean, if anybody's, I don't know how many people are going to be watching or whatever, but let's go back and try to find these videos because, I mean, I vaguely remember them, and I do remember seeing them.
Fucking absolute, man. I'm sure people have that shit up there.
So what was going?
Compilation of these fucking
They had to just.
solid videos.
They had to just fit themselves in somehow to the point where.
But everybody wanted to squeak in. Yeah. There was all kinds of fucking bands that could make it.
Wow, man.
You know?
Dude, look at here we go again. They got like 3 pages in this magazine.
For them?
Yeah.
See, that's,
Here he is. The guy's showing his Ibanez. He's showing his 2 guitars with it, 2 acoustics, a 12-string and a 6-string. So obviously they weren't doing too bad.
But those are all promo shots, and
Right. Here we go.
Nowadays it's all interviews and blah blah blah. Fucking this that.
I'll show you some more shots here though, because I mean I gotta show you because they're right there. I mean, as obscure as they were, I just don't know how they made it that far at that point.
Well, you get a hit song.
Oh, you got the bass player playing a BC Rich. You got the guitar player playing Ibanez. So, kind of a little mix.
I think they need a good shoe up their fucking ass.
His son didn't make sense with it. Yeah, what was going on?
Get them going.
What the hell? Nothing happened there, right?
Back in the face or something.
That was it. Nothing happened, right? That was about it. Those 2 songs.
Shit going on. I don't know. Fade away quick.
Oh yeah, I don't remember them.
Up there, Striper there.
Yeah, well here you go. Well, you just said Striper, so let's get into that really quick. Metal Edge Mailbag, all right, and Kyle and Striper right there. They were kind of popular at the time. They had their own following, and to each their own. Their songs were a lot of their songs musically were really good.
They were. I mean,
you might have not liked what they said in the lyrics, or made them sound like maybe sappy or whatever you want to call it, but.
Yeah. Well, it's just the way they played everything off with the
Right. All right.
And all that shit. It kind of. I think it turned off a lot of people.
So that was their gimmick, is what you're saying, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
If they had a gimmick, that was their gimmick.
Well, that's what you had to do back then.
Right.
Like fucking Ozzy biting off heads and shit, bats.
Right. So they went the other way.
Exactly. I mean, that was their show. That was what they had to do to get the spotlight. That's what I think.
Right. So that's kind of what they were about.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. There's another contest here, and
there's another one that kind of came on the scene, had a few songs. What do you think?
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. They were really popular during that midstream too.
Well, you were a Kicks fan, weren't you?
I was a Kicks fan. I was definitely a Kicks fan. I remember I was doing cover songs with Jason K there and those guys, in the garage, and that was one of them.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got to that.
Yeah.
It was just something that.
Yeah, no, that was big because with Rob, the drummer there, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was big with those guys. They loved it. Those were easy songs, and it was easy to play, so it was something just to add to the list.
Right.
So for me, yeah, I did like it.
Yeah, something to throw in between.
Right. Anything that was harder.
One song to another.
Right. Something that would blend into it.
Originals and shit like that.
Well, at the time I was singing with those guys, so anything that was easier to fucking blend in with the mix of everything else that we were playing.
Well, when they got the shit nowadays, I mean,
Right.
Anybody can sound like a rock star.
Anybody can, and they got pedals for this, pedals for that.
No, it's kind of crazy.
Well, we're almost towards the end of this one, and it says L.A. Guns. I really liked L.A. Guns, to be honest with you.
They had some good.
I liked L.A. Guns. I'm going to tell you flat out, I did. Flat out. They were one of the harder rocking bands back then. If you're going to call it L.A. glam, hard rock, whatever you want to call it.
After album, then it was like, I don't know, you weren't into music because you had to have a little diversity.
Right.
Back then, you can't be. For me, it wasn't all metal. It wasn't all.
No, and I think we.
But that plan, all these other bits, you gotta have diversity.
Right.
That damn music.
I got to be honest, back then, in that time frame, probably between 84 to 90,
Right.
I listened to everything. It wasn't just one. I listened to Testament one day, I listened to L.A. Guns the next day.
You got me into listening to a lot of this shit that I probably wouldn't have listened to in the first place.
I listened to Wasp one day, listened to Social Distortion the next. I listened to Poison one day, Zeppelin the next.
Especially if you're going to get in that kind of industry, everybody takes something from somebody. And, that's just a given. Everybody's got an influence.
And honestly, I think that's what we did anyways when we played and we were in the garage making up originals and everything else.
I mean, there was some, but I think a lot of it just came naturally and it just sounded good.
It sounded good, and I think for us, we all took from different areas.
Right.
You had Chris doing one thing, you doing one thing, me doing another thing.
Exactly.
It all blended. We all took from different kind of areas.
Yeah, it was harmony.
Right.
Pretty much everybody together as one, and that, when we were playing. So.
Well, here's another few pages before we end this magazine. Brittany Fox, and they were on the hot stream there for a while too. They had a lot of, they had a couple of those hit songs there for a little bit. Yeah, they blended in, just like you said, with everybody else.
You got a freaking.
I got it though. I got it on cassette.
I know you do.
I got it on cassette. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, I'm just gonna go through some more quick pages here, but that's not too much.
Oh, you got one ripped out, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm gonna.
You gonna hang that one on the wall?
This was probably one of the ones I was going to hang on the wall. Don't ask me why, but especially because it's Winger.
Oh, Winger.
Yeah, don't ask me why that was even ripped.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get that. I don't know where that went down.
Well, Urban had Winger. He had Winger, and honestly, when you listen to the entire tape, it's different. They have 3 of those sappy songs, but the rest of it was rocking.
I don't even remember any of their songs.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you listen to the rest of them, they were heavy.
Well,
that's the thing. I gave up on them too. Till Urban used to get these tapes, and I couldn't believe he would get them.
Well, he wanted to be with the people. He thought that.
It surprised the hell out of me that he would.
That's what people wanted to hear. And,
yeah, it would surprise the hell out of me that he.
A little ahead of his time, he bought shit that he thought.
Exactly, it didn't make sense that he would even have that tape, and then I'd be listening to it, and I'd be like, "Wow."
Right.
Because I wouldn't even gotten it, and then I heard it from him, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch."
Exactly.
Here we go. Here's a few more shots. There's White Lion.
It was
Metallica with Lars.
Get the last couple pages.
Yeah, Lars Ulrich talks about Injustice for All.
Yeah, they totally robbed freaking Newsted of that album.
There it is, Injustice for All in the headline tour.
Oh my God. They should apologize to him.
He-
They
he-
robbed them.
Well, there's a lot of videos that go on about that where Jason Newsted says, well, they've interviewed Jason Newsted and said, would you have liked to? Oh, hold on. I guess some people subscribing here, Jay.
No.
All right, there's 2 people. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you. All right, guys. That now I see you guys watching now. You can go back and rewind and watch this. We're towards the end actually of this magazine. We already did one, and definitely appreciate.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Listen to Brother Jay. I mean, he's got.
These magazines anymore. Hardly anybody, unless you can find them on Amazon, but you're not gonna find them in somebody's house. That has them. A lot of them.
Right.
In condition, good.
Right.
So.
So here it is, and we're going through the end of this, and Jay's just trying to describe what we're doing here, and we got more to go through, and we'll do that, and we'll do the cassettes too, but
Maybe get on some sports and politics after.
yeah, well, we're gonna go on to that after, and for right now we're gonna finish this up. But there's the Metallica. And there's Europe. You say Metallica. You said, all right. So you said the Injustice for All tour kind of did it for Jason Newsted, right?
Oh hell yeah!
And there we go. His Metal Edged front cover again, just for the new guys that are tuning in.
They remixed. There's people that had remixed that album and brought up the bass. It sounds fucking great. You gotta look for it. It's on YouTube.
Oh, great. There it is. Brother Jay is just saying this right now. So, and honestly, I've heard it before myself. I heard it once before when Jay mentioned it. Go ahead, Jay. Say it again loud.
If you like the Injustice for All album, you gotta look for the edited version where they bring up the bass for Newsted, and
Right.
it's just beautiful. It sounds like it should have sounded,
Okay.
but they cut them off. They just totally cut them out, which sucks.
And we were all thinking about this, and we've all had our reasons about this. Why do you think they would have done that on that particular album for any reason? If they needed a bass player and needed a tour live with a bass player, why do you think they would have did that on the album and had to go out on tour? And did they do the same thing out on tour? Did they pull the plug on him? Did they turn it down so he could just hear it and not the audience? How did that work out, do you think?
He said in interviews that they still wasn't really comfortable with him, and it was like Metallica is Lars and James's band.
Right. We know that. We know that.
Kurt Hammett is great, but who writes the music is James and Lars.
Right.
And him being a newcomer, how can you replace Cliff Burton? You can't.
Right.
So they gave him hell for it, and I think wasn't deserving. From the bands he came from, Flotsam and Jetsam and shit like that. So it's like, it was a black eye for him.
Okay. Oh, he did what he had to do. Basically, is what we're saying. It's just it didn't work out, and those guys wanted to go another way.
It's their band, and whatever they say goes. So.
Hey, George just tuned in. Our buddy George. George.
Yeah.
So he just said James is a beast. What would you say, Jay, to George, our buddy George?
I would say beast. Yeah, he's a fucking beast.
George.
Fucking beast, man.
Hey, Georgie boy, check this out. Old school, brother.
He's fucking beastie.
We're going over.
Fucking raw dog over here on this fucking end.
I guess I had to show you this here really quick. Show the magazine, so you would see it.
They didn't give him enough credit in the beginning.
Never do, man. Never do.
Why he left,
Right.
His differences, of course, what the fuck, man?
Right.
I think he made the wrong mistake, but...
Well, I think you made the wrong mistake anyways
If
for
you
him.
listen to Metallica now,
Right.
You wouldn't, it's nowhere near what I think that Newsted could have done.
Right.
I really don't.
Well, they could have gone a lot longer, and I think they would have actually if they stuck with him instead of
Well,
filling
I
in with.
think they stuck. How do you mean they stuck?
Well, I think if they stayed with him and gave him a better chance,
Well,
that
yeah.
they would have been better off because actually with that Rob Trujillo, I mean, I don't hear that much of a difference because I don't hear him that. In as far as the mix goes, with him in the mix, the bass mix.
Rob Trio, any bullshit, man. When he get in the band, he was in the band.
Right.
But this Newsted, they fucked him over.
Well, they did. They
Fucked
did.
with him,
They did.
and you can only take so much. And
Well,
he had different ideas anyway, so that's conflict right there.
so that's the way it was gonna go, regardless.
Might as well just fucking go.
All right. So there's our take on that. We're just going to show a few more pictures of this magazine only because it's out there. And there's Europe with Joey Tempest.
Oh shit, yeah.
And hey, they had a lot of good tunes back then.
Fucking years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of good tunes back then. And there it is, a winger takeoff. And we make fun of them and we say this and that, but you know what? Red Beach is a great guitar player. Red Beach was a great guitar player. It's just they had their time just like all those other bands had their time. So
You know what? I think they just aimed it.
right. Well, that's a good way to put it. They kind of winged it.
I don't know.
There's Rudy Sarzo.
It worked for me. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, back then, it was hit and miss. What can you say? They all had, everybody had their time. And
Well, yeah.
I think
You were
that,
under my radar. Put it that way.
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
So there it is, Mike and Brother Jay talking about those two metal magazines. We did. We'll show the first one again here really quick. Concert shots.
Jay's in pristine condition.
Jay, tell them about it.
How much you want for it? I'll give
Jay,
what you want right now.
Jay, tell them about it. Give them the overshoot here.
What about your records? You don't even have your records. Do you have records?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, jeez. Where you been hiding this shit? Fucking vault somewhere in fucking Fort Knox?
I don't know. Georgie's seen some of this stuff. All right, so there's concert shots from 1989. Was that February? No, that was May.
May?
This one was May. All right. So this one was May 1989. Okay.
Yeah, May.
May. Okay. And then what else did we have? We had Metal Edge, right? We just did Metal Edge.
No edge.
All right. So we did Metal Edge, and this one was from what? February. February 1980. So you had one in the summer. You had one that closed it out in
Right.
in '89.
Yep.
And on the back there's the guys from Def Leppard. I can't believe how glossy these still are, which is just weird to me. I don't know how they are that way, but
Kind of fucking hyperbolic chamber. I don't know what the
dude, I told you, man. I found them in the gym bag.
Jesus Christ.
God damn,
That's fucking craziness.
that's what I'm talking about.
I just don't see it.
It's like
You just borrow them from like a collector.
well, I wish I did, but I
I
didn't.
know you have.
Yeah.
I know you've had them forever. I just don't know how they're in that.
I have no idea.
That's fucking nuts. Crazy.
Tom Kiefer.
You know? So I went through a freaking magazine.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, jeez. That was going on the wall, you can tell. Right above your bed.
Look at it. It's kind of ripped like it was, right?
Well, you ripped it out wrong. You're right.
You ripped it out wrong, you said.
Look at edges on it.
Yeah, look at.
Who ripped the page out like that?
Well, it probably was gonna. I don't know.
You were gonna hang it on your wall.
No, maybe Patty was gonna hang it on the wall.
Well, who knows?
You know what I mean?
I know she was into all that shit too.
Dude, trust me. Especially these guys. So she was probably the one that was going after that. I'm pretty sure.
Holy gee.
Holy freak, holy!
Exactly.
So what do you say, brother Jay?
What do you say?
What you got left to say?
What's going on in the world here?
You got fucking, Trumpy Thumpy.
Yeah.
You got Trumpy Thumpy?
Trumpy, thumpy, dumpy, humpy. And if I could slap him across the nose, I would.
I know you would. I know you would.
But it's just, I don't know. That's too much to talk about right now.
Right. So there you go, guys. Muddy Mike and Brother Jay doing up a mini series on both Concert Shots, Metal Edge. We went through that with you. Brother Jay did bring up about next week doing something to the effect of. Here we go. Jason rocked and his vocals were insane. See, there you go, Jay.
All right.
That's what George just said.
All right.
He's liking what you said about Newsted.
It's true though.
I agree, man. I totally agree.
Even back then when I bought the album, where the hell is this guy in this album?
Dude.
I can't, it's like it was nobody thought about it, but I definitely knew, it was set up for some shit.
Yeah, I agree, man.
It came to light pretty quick after the album release because
Right.
obviously you couldn't hear him.
Well, I think he made his money. He proved his point. He could definitely play. There's no doubt about it. Once I heard that mix and the bass in it, I said, well, there's something up here for whatever reason.
Well, and it's not just him playing guitar. He can sing. He's got a lot of talent, and they just overlooked all of it.
Yeah, until George brought that up, I forgot about that too. In his own band, he sounds solid, man. He sounds solid.
He wrote a lot of songs.
He wrote a lot of songs, man.
This guy's not open.
No.
They made him look like,
Right.
like a guinea pig. Like you never replace Cliff, and of course, who's gonna replace him?
Right.
Even Trujillo, he plays like freaking Cliff, but he's not Cliff.
No, not at all.
But they gave him a freaking break. They didn't get Jason a break.
Right.
Which is,
Well, he had the rough end on that, and he's probably moved on, doing his own thing now, and obviously, that, which is good.
He's got a few things going on right now.
Right.
Just to look that up, but
It's out there. It's out there. So if you're watching, listening, you can check it out. Newsted has his own stuff out there, and it's been out there for a long time. But he does sound good. I honestly, I forgot about his vocals and stuff like that till
no, he's good. He's good.
until our buddy George brought that up. But that's
good.
right. He does hit it on everything. Not just playing bass. So.
Right. He's not just a bass player.
He's not just a bass player. He wrote most of those songs too for that.
Right.
His solo album there and stuff. So.
Right.
So that was all good.
Well, he played with, I think he played with Voivod for a minute.
Yeah, he did. You're right there. I forgot about that. That was another one.
I don't know what he's doing right now, but
He's probably playing with himself a little bit now.
that's how we had from 2017. But
Yeah.
hey, he's still on the freaking, he's still on the light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you think, J.O.?
What do you think, yo?
All right, we're going to wrap it up, everybody. Thanks for watching. Muddy Mike, Brother Jay. Next time around, what we're going to do is change it up a little bit. We still have some mags to go through, and we're going to do that also. We have some older baseball mags, the sticker mags, and we'll pull.
Do that cassette collection too.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's the main thing. So I'm gonna get on that first to let you know what's going on. We're gonna do the cassette collection first. We'll go through week by week. We'll do one row at a time. There's like 5, 6 rows, so that's gonna take up at least 6 weeks right there. And then we're gonna move back to the rock metal magazines and also the old school baseball sticker magazines and the football sticker magazine collection there that we had from the 80s. This is all 80s related. That's why we're doing it, and we're gonna do it again. So hang in there. I gotta say thanks to Brother Jay for hanging out. Say hey, Jay.
Yeah, Mike. Hey, thank you.
There you go. And Jay saying.
For listening. And
Jay saying thank you guys for
subscribe.
there you go, and check out Brother Jay's channel also. Jay, what's your channel? You want to let him know, or you just kind of you're still working on it at this point, anyways. So
yeah, it's not up yet, but
yeah, he's still working on a lot of material for his stuff.
I mean, hopefully next time.
Next time around we'll have something for you.
I'll throw it out there.
Right, he'll throw it out there for you. So, in any case, we thank you guys for watching. Muddy Mike, Brother Jay is out, and we'll see you guys, all right? Thanks for watching. Good night.